Zero Mark here with an event preview for the first Dragoon event. There's a bunch of stuff going on with this particular event deck. It's kind of interesting, but I think there's a lot of hype, and at the end of the day, I think it's mostly smoke and no fire. But let's take a look at the specific details. The event card, this Abramadam and Eleanor, is a nuke card, and it's an every turn nuke. And you can see attack for 12,000% attack plus 12,000 for every 25 technological intensity, and cooldown 1 turn. That means you can use this every turn, so you can nuke turn after turn after turn after turn. That's really good and really useful. I think this is in the vein of cards like Gladia or Wende or Macreen or Mondo that are these kind of every turn nuke cards. The numbers look a little bit different, and the fact that this ability can be reset makes it a little bit different. So you need to compare this between the others to see where it really sits. Also, it has a passive that whenever you use the battle skill, it creates an Earth Power Gem 2. So that's a good addition. But this card does not have the revive that those other nuke cards have. So let's look a little bit at the numbers. So attack for 12,000% attack plus 12,000% for every 25 technological intensity. So if we look at one of the previous nuke cards. So this is Macreen World Strider. This is from a previous event. If you look down here, it generates intensity and attack for 4,000% plus 2,000 for every 5 stacks. So the other was 12,000% plus 12,000 for every 25 stacks. So this is effectively 4,000 plus 10,000 for every 25 stacks. So it seems like this is a much smaller nuke. However, if you keep on reading, if there's at least 1 Earth Power Gem on the board, it attacks a second time. If there are 3 Earth Power Gems on the board, it attacks a third time. So you can attack with this one 3 times. So if you're right at the kind of 25 God intensity, then you get 14,000% attack times 3 for 3 attacks, which is 28, 38, 42,000% of attack and damage. And the other card, the new card, is only going to be doing 24. 12 and 12 because it only does 1. So being able to do the triple attack is hugely powerful. Also notice this card has the passive that's to revive. And revive with 1% of HP per 5 God intensity, so when you revive, if you have a bunch of God intensity, you're going to revive at full health. So in terms of payoff, this one does have a lower nuke, but the fact that you can triple it makes it actually potentially way more powerful. So given the triple on this and the single on the other, plus the passive on top of this one, it makes the new card seem not so great. So let's take a look at this again, because it's that 12,000 plus 12,000, but you can only use it once, and you get the Earth Power Gem 2, which is new, but you don't get the revive. So it says it can be reset, so let's look at how that works, because that seems to be what's driving this deck, what's making this deck work. And of course, the reset is in the ultra rare, the Unbowable Warrior. And his battle skill is to reset the cooldown and fill the skill meters of the main event hero and the X13. So plus 1 additional per 250, that drops to per 100 for the 6-star version, and increases the attack of all technological heroes by 125. That jumps to 250 for the 6-star version for each hero reset. So here, if you have an ultra rare, you can shoot off the nuke of the main hero, event hero, use this battle skill, and it'll reset the cooldown so that you can use the nuke again. So now you can use the nuke twice on the same turn, as long as you have the ultra rare. So the old versions of the nuke cards, you could do 3 times in one turn. This one, if you have the ultra rare, you can do 2 times in one turn. So you have to have the ultra rare to really make that nuke as powerful. Also, this passive says once per battle, instead of dying, survive and reset cooldowns. So this passive sounds good, but it's actually pretty bad. Because once per battle, instead of dying, survive. Okay, so you survive, and it says reset the cooldowns and fill the skill meters. That part is actually pretty much doing nothing, because when are you going to get attacked? So you launch your attack by matching all of your gems and attack the boss. That's filling up all of your skill meters, so they're already full. Then the boss attacks you and kills you, so you survive and fill the skill meters that are already full. So the timing of this, it doesn't make sense unless you're somehow dying on your own turn to allow you to refill during your own turn. Like, this just doesn't make that much sense. So really all you're getting is a revive, and it's a survive, so you just survive with no health. The previous version, you were getting survive with HP based on your intensity, so you could actually survive and return at full health. So this is essentially giving you 1 extra turn. So it's certainly not the greatest revive in the world. There was some talk that this would get past flatline, because flatline, after you revive, it zeroes out all of your skill meters. And so this was saying, well, maybe flatline zeroes them out, and this revive then maxes them back out again, so it avoids flatline. But that's been confirmed by Network to not be the case. The revive and the skill meters filling happen first, and then flatline triggers and zeroes out the skill meters, so flatline still will annihilate this revive. So overall, this deck is really driven by the nuke card, the every turn nuke, and the ability to reset that nuke so you can use it multiple times on the same turn. But to do that, you need to have the ultra rare. And if you want to be able to do triple, then you need 2 ultra rares so that you can use their skills back to back and get triple nuke. If you have 2 ultra rares and 2 of the X13s and 1 of the support cards, that's the gem generator card, then yeah, this deck's going to be killer, and you're going to be able to get off massive nuke damage every turn by using skills over and over and over again. But unless you have the 2 ultra rares to really make that work, or at least 1 ultra rare plus maybe 3 of the event cards or X13s, yeah, you need an ultra rare for this deck to work, and potentially 2 of them. So let's take a quick look at the support card, because we haven't looked at that one yet. The support card increases technological intensity and create 5 earth gems this turn and next turn. Cooldown of 3 turns. So you get 2 turns worth of earth gems, then you have 1 turn where you get none, and then you can use the skill again on the 3rd turn and get 2 more turns. So every 3rd turn, you have a turn where you don't get any earth gems, and so you don't get anything to potentially power up your other skills. This is a mediocre gem generator, and in order to generate all the earth gems that you're going to need to power up all of the other skills, you're going to need at least 1 of these guys, maybe even 2 of them, but that's going to then cut into what other cards you can use. So you're going to end up with 2 of these guys just so that you get enough earth gems to power up the skills every turn of your nukes. And then you're going to need an ultra rare and then 2 event cards. So with that, you can kind of get something where you're probably getting stuff going every turn. But just this gem generation card is not the good version. The better version is from the previous event. If we go back and look at the kind of collection cards from this event, and we look at this guy, this elephant dude, this is the one that creates 2 earth gems both now and for the next 2 turns, plus 1 additional earth gem per 20 god intensity. So this one you can't really use this time because you need god intensity to make it work. But this does now and for the next 2 turns with a 3-turn cooldown. So every turn you're getting earth gems. And once you've got god intensity built up, you're getting tons and tons of earth gems every turn. So that's massively better than the support card in this event, which just gives you 5 now, 5 next turn, and then nothing. The other benefit that this support card has, though, is that heals for 25% of recovery each time he attacks. So every time he attacks, you're going to get some healing, and this is the only healing in this deck other than the revive, and the revive doesn't have any healing with it. It just prevents you from dying. So this is the only place that you're going to get recovery in this deck, get healing. So overall, given all of these things, like, I would like to have multiple ultra rares and multiple event cards, but then you don't have any way of getting green gems on the board. So you need the support card to get the green gems on the board, and to get enough of them, I think you're going to need 2 of these. So I think your deck is going to end up being 2 support cards, 2 X13s, or main event cards, and 1 ultra rare, and the ultra rare being hugely important. So I haven't looked at the X13 yet. Let's just take a quick look at that. It's exactly the same as the event card, just instead of the 12,000 attack and 12,000 for the nuke, it's 15,000 and 15,000. And you get an Earth Power Gem 3 instead of an Earth Power Gem 2. So it's basically the same as the other one, just you get more damage. So replace it if you can, but the event card works just as well. So you're going to want 2 of these guys, 2 of the support cards, and 1 ultra rare to get a deck that really works. If you can get this deck working, this can be a hugely valuable deck for all phases of the game. The fact that you can use the nuke every turn means that in guild versus guild, or in player versus player, you can be using these skills and killing stuff every turn. With a lot of the decks of late, they're kind of 3-turn decks, so you get a huge attack 1 turn, and then you have to kind of waste 2 turns, and then on every 3rd turn you get a huge attack. Well, with this one, you're going to be able to get a huge attack every turn, because all of the skills have just a 1-turn cooldown. So that makes it hugely valuable for all of the other phases of the game. So it's a good deck for that, but I don't know that it's better than the decks that currently exist, because none of the features that they've added or changed have really made it stand out as head and shoulders above the other. And the nuke damage amounts, although much higher on their face, because they don't double and triple, end up being pretty similar. So overall, I think this is an interesting deck. I'm not excited to go after it, because it just seems that you have to have an ultra rare to make it work. And even then, it's the same as the others. So if you have one of the previous nuke decks, you probably don't need it. If you don't have a deck that's a good guild versus guild or player versus player deck, getting a full version of this deck could certainly push you in that direction. So for this Commander event, there aren't really any new changes to the Commander event. All of the changes that they're doing are based on guild versus guild, with these new Dragoons coming in and all of the changes there. So maybe I'll do a video soon talking about guild versus guild and what's going on with that. But for right now, that should give you a pretty good idea of what this current event deck looks like, and I hope that you have fun playing the first Dragoon Commander event this weekend. Until next time.